Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about the best platforms and budgeting tips for your marketing budget in 2024 for spending on solar marketing. So I think one of the biggest things, when we're talking to a new client, working with Prospect Bacon, or I'm doing consulting or just giving some free advice, is choosing, which platforms to advertise on right now. In my experience, there's, I think, only a few platforms that actually make sense to advertise on in 2024. Your main two being Meta, which is mainly going to be Facebook and Instagram, and Google, which is going to be like your Google search, your Google display ads, and your YouTube ads. There were a lot of people talking about TikTok back in 2022, 2023. I think TikTok could still be a contender. However, we found that the advertising platform's still younger and unreliable. We just weren't really seeing anything consistent. So as far as figuring out which platforms we're advertising on, we're typically looking at Meta or Google. I'm going to talk about why we recommend certain platforms more than others. So I'm going to talk about kind of the main two differences right now. So we're going to kind of talk about Facebook and Instagram as a whole, because that's kind of how I'm viewing those two platforms, at least right now. On the Google side, we'll be splitting up the Google, more PPC options, like Google Display and Google Search ads. And then lastly, we'll talk about YouTube video ads. So first, talking about Meta, which is still weird not calling them Facebook. Meta is an interesting platform. Typically, until sometime last year, we were mostly image-based ads on Meta. Anytime somebody's in a market where they're like, oh man, we have shoppers, people are shopping all the time, I at least think in my head, maybe we'd be a little better off running Facebook ads. And the reason I think that is when you're running a Facebook or Instagram ad, the way the targeting and the intent on that platform works is you're paying for that ad, whether you're scrolling past it at 1,000,000 miles per hour, or you click on that ad and buy something from that advertiser or fill out a form. Facebook doesn't charge you any more money whether you generate a lead or don't generate a lead, which I know is confusing to some people because you're used to seeing oh, my lead costs are $50 a lead. Really, it's not $50 per lead. You're being charged something for how many people your ads are being shown to. And it's basically up to your in-house advertiser or your ad agency to make those numbers and metrics make sense. Basically, what you're doing is you're paying a certain amount of money for Facebook to show that ad to 1,000 people. Facebook is charging you for showing that ad to 1,000 people, whether your ad converts or not. That's the simplest way to break that down for Instagram and Facebook. Sometime last year, Facebook and Instagram started allowing advertisers to use space on the Reels section, which is blown up. And so we saw video content take off really, really well at Facebook. At the same time, we kind of saw Google video quality leads go down. I suspect it has something to do with a lawsuit Google was involved in last year. I don't really have any proof of that. Basically, Google was allowing third-party websites to show ads in places where it was ad blocking, and we saw kind of a lot of our Google results get more expensive around the same time. When I'm recommending Facebook, I'm really looking at, Facebook, Instagram, Meta, all same platform. So the leads are a lot more like a door-knocked lead. We're finding people with lower intent. We're catching them off guard. They're not specifically in a shopping mood or not in a shopping mood. They don't have a specific awareness about solar. It is a lower intent lead, which some people like because, you're not getting that Google lead of somebody who's already got a quote for a solar company. They're searching for quote comparisons, that sort of thing. Google search and display ads, we are, very much looking for people in the market for solar due to the way, Google targets. We're targeting, your competitors' websites. We're targeting people, in the market or showing buying habits of looking for solar. We're looking for really hot, high intent leads. Solar installer in St. Louis, Missouri. And then you're getting that. Basically, they see your ad first, they click on it, they call you. That person is very much in a buying mood for solar. I like search and display ads because they're, I think, higher intent leads a lot of times, especially the search leads. You're paying more money for those leads, but you're getting very high intent, very high lead to appointment ratio. So if your company's used to working like a lot of referrals or things like that, you can very much focus on Google search leads and not overwhelm your sales team. They'll still be fairly high intent leads. I think it's a great source. Lastly, talking about YouTube, YouTube has a lot of the same superpowers as Google search and display, where we're finding a lot of in-market homeowners, but we get a little bit more of direct response advertising. I think it's a great blend between like a Facebook lead, the lower intent side of that, and like a Google search lead being more expensive and high intent. YouTube leads typically fall in that sweet spot of quality and affordability. And a lot of it's just going to depend on how your team works and converts leads. As far as like budgets on spending on any of these platforms, we could go a lot into those places. What we're seeing kind of for an average cost per acquisition right now in the US is $2,000 to $2,500 as an average. You can do above and beyond and better than that. You need to work on your KPIs to improve those numbers. We went over all those numbers in our How to Lower Your Cost Per Acquisition masterclass we did a week or two ago. You can go through all of those numbers on beating that. And so, typically for a marketing budget, you can spend as little money as you want. However, statistical significance will bite you at one point or the other, right? If you spend a $200 marketing budget a month on solar and your average cost per acquisition in the industry right now is $2,500, you have to be doing some things pretty amazing to spend a budget that low and still see a return on investment. So, $5,000, that sets you up to get at least 2 sales that month. If you can be financially responsible and spend $5,000 on ads, I think you're set up in a really good place to win. I like setting people up to win, not just churning and burning and saying, yeah, we'll take your like $1,500 to market, even though in my head I know like you've got to spend 2 or 3 months to have a possibility of getting a return in that equation because of how the numbers work out. As far as like choosing your budgets, reverse engineer your cost per acquisition. That tells you how much to spend where and on each platform. You can use smaller testing budgets, but if you're testing, you're not necessarily looking for success. So if you're spending less than it normally costs to get a good cost per acquisition, like if you're spending less than $2,500, you want to be looking at earlier indicators than a sale, like what's my cost per appointment, my cost per set, or my cost per lead. So thanks for tuning in. These are my best platform and budgeting tips for 2024 in solar, for solar marketing in 2024. Please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And then we have a masterclass with a free PDF we did on how to make solar ads that convert in 2024. Click the link below. I'll send you all that information completely free. Any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll talk to you soon.